I'm Jan Wharton, and I attend Old Clee Church here in Grimsby. A lovely old church, as you know, and it is the most beautiful space at one of what Nick would call sacred spaces. The online services have been really, really amazing. It's given us a lot of chance, and I say us, my husband isn't confirmed. He hasn't got the leap of faith, though he lives a Christian life. But actually this has brought him to Christianity because we've sat and watched the services together. And as I say, thank God for technology. We've had the church services, and they have been a chance to really get in there with no distraction. That's been the upside of it, because the online services have been personally, when you're looking at somebody like that, right in their face, Nick has been talking to us and reflecting on the readings and things. And it's been, even the little dog has been, you know, we've sat and we've really thought. During this pandemic, God has been at work. I mean, he's had a long job and a big job, hasn't he? That's the thing, it's been a big job. I've heard people say, well, how can this happen if there's God? How can you have faith? A friend actually said, I wish I'd got your faith, which was a nice thing to hear, because it meant that she'd recognised that there was something in it, and I was hoping she might come along at some point. I think we've learned, and I think it's been a hard thing for us to know, that we are not as in control as we thought we were as humanity. We've seen this with what good has come out of it, and I honestly think it is part of God's work that we have the the climate issues that are being addressed. We're not polluting the air as much. The air traffic, it's been really hard for people, especially if they haven't been able to see people. But the animals have been able to breathe. The planet's been able to breathe for a short while. And, you do think, well, they say God works in mysterious ways. And then I do believe that people have been kinder to each other. We'll always hear bad things, and it's a shame that sometimes we dwell on bad things. The bits of bad news and how the news is reported, or any of that kind of thing on social media. But it's people have been kind, people have smiled. They haven't been able to go next to each other, but they've smiled at each other. And people, I know, I'm a Yorkshire woman, so you speak to everybody too much. But sometimes in certain areas, people are more shy and don't open conversations, but people have done. And people have opened conversations and opened themselves to each other. Then, of course, there's been these amazing acts of selflessness that we've seen and have been recorded, but also many, many others that we haven't even seen, that people have looked after people. Food banks have been set up, like in our church communities, but it's been that kind of understanding that it's not a rat race, and that we have to sometimes just stop and reflect. And I think that's how God has been working to develop the kingdom, to develop a better place, because I don't think we'll ever go back to where we were. This was a great leveller. This was people, the Prime Minister got it, and people who were living on the breadline got it. And it's the equality issues are really, really important. And I think if we could all learn to share ourselves and share our faith and share the resources, then I think that's my prayer, that we will keep this sharing. And there's problems with media, I know, with social media, but it's been a boon for a lot of people. It's harnessing it. And I hope that, through God's grace, and that Jesus will show us how that can happen.